Hey there everybody, I'm going to go through a quick tutorial on using the magic wand tool to mask out a background. So for this example, I'm going to use a skull. So here's a skull I found. So what I want to do is mask out the black areas and keep the skull part the lighter areas of the image. So I'll right click, copy image. I'm in uh, Google Chrome and I just did a Google search, so I'm using Chrome as my browser. And after I copy that, I'm going to go into Photoshop, click New. Uh, in the dialog here, I'll just give it a name. I'll call it Skull. All the settings for that image are already here. Photoshop knows what I copied over, so the width, the height, and the resolution are already set. And then I'm going to hit Command V or Control V to paste it. And there's my skull. So I'll be using the Magic Wand tool. So the Magic Wand tool, typically, when you open up Photoshop, what you're going to have is this quick selection tool. And the Magic Wand tool is part of that menu item in that toolbar. So you basically click down to select that. Or you can hit Shift W, and that's like a toggle. So that will actually toggle between the quick selection tool and the Magic Wand tool. For this one, I'm just using the Magic Wand tool. In previous versions of Photoshop, early on, there was no quick selection tool. So when you went into the toolbar, all you saw was the Magic Wand tool. It was the one tool that was here, but now it's kind of hidden. The Magic Wand tool works by selecting areas of similar pixels. If you look in the toolbar on top, there's a couple settings that you can use, and one is sample size. So that's going to increase the number of pixels it selects, and tolerance is going to basically, the higher level of tolerance will give you a color range. So a high level of tolerance is going to tolerate colors that are similar to black. Lower is going to only tolerate the pixels that you click on. So if you click on a certain black, it's only going to want to add those that black to the selection. A couple other things: anti-aliasing will smooth out that selection a little bit, so you won't get a jaggedy selection. So I'm going to click on that. And contiguous, what that does is basically only selects colors that are next to the thing you select. If you unselect it and you click on this black background, it will select the areas in the eyes and the nose. It will select any similar color range within the image, no matter what. And like you would call these eyeballs that are black islands. So it will select islands of color. If you click on contiguous, it only selects the colors that are next to what you select, so it won't select these inner areas that are separated by the white of the skull. So if I have that unclicked, I click, and you can see it selects everything here, even if it's separated by the white of the skull, including the eyes and the nose, so I get a nice selection. Now I'm going to deselect. A quick way to deselect is to hit Command D or Control D, or you go into the select menu and you select deselect. So I'm going to deselect, and now I'm going to turn on contiguous and click, and you can see I only have these marching ants around that background. But I want to get everything. I want to get the eyes and the nose and anything that's dark. So again, I'm going to hit Command D or Control D, deselect, unclick contiguous, and now click again. And now I have all these dark islands. And so I just want to mask this out. So basically, I'm just going to hit my mask icon on my layers palette. The little mask icon looks like a tiny Japanese flag. Click on that. Now what you see what happened here is with the Magic Wand tool, because I selected the black and I have my marching ants surrounding all the black, when I click on the mask icon in the layers panel, I'm hiding the thing that's not selected. I'm hiding the skull itself, and I don't want to do that. I want to hide the black background so I can have that skull on top of a different background. So I'm going to undo, Command Control Z. And this time around, if you hit Option and click on that, it will actually invert your selection. So when you click on Option and the little icon for masking, it inverts your selection, and now I have the main skull here. So the thing to remember is that when you have a selection and you have, let's say, you have marching ants surrounding something, that's the thing that's going to stay when you click on that icon. So if you're trying to remove a background with the magic wand tool, when you click on that background, you don't want the background to stay. So hit Option or Alt when you click on your little icon here. Now, when you look at this, there's some areas that feel kind of choppy and jaggedy. So I want to clean these up a little bit. So what you can do is use the mask properties. If you double click on your mask, so when I clicked on my mask icon, the mask appears in my layers palette. If I double click on my mask, these properties appear. And what I can do is now smooth out my mask a bit. If I raise the smooth value up, it's going to smooth that out a little bit, get rid of those jaggies. Some other features, Smart Radius is just going to help refine that selection a little bit. Feathering too is going to kind of add a nice softness to it. Contrast is going to sharpen it up if I increase the contrast. And Shift Edges is going to push it in or out. So let's say I want more of the teeth to show. I'm going to raise up Shift Edges a little bit so I get more of those teeth and I get a little bit better selection. And now I'm going to hit OK, and I have a better mask here. And finally, just to see this on a background, I'm going to click on one of my adjustment layers. So the adjustment layers in the layers palette is this little circle with a slash through the middle. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to pick solid color, change it to something that's obviously different. So I'm going to change it to red. The solid color adjustment layer appears above, so I'm just going to left click, drag down, and drag it underneath the skull. You see that when I have this little blue line between the layers, that means that I can place that layer there, and now it's going to be below. And now you can see how that background is showing through. You can always go back and double click on the adjustment layer and change that color interactively. So, here's a new background right there. So it's that simple with the Magic Wand tool. You're just clicking on most likely a background of solid similar color because you want to hide it using a mask. And just remember that the Magic Wand tool is the fourth icon down, and it's kind of hidden underneath the quick selection tool, so you have to click on that icon, open up the menu, or Shift W to cycle through to get to that icon. And that's it.